What does my hair?
Hi liebe Harmonika-Community, wir sind hier heute eindrucksvoll am Rheinfall in Schaffhausen mit the one and only, the amazing Cory Pesaturo.
Dankeschön, Dankeschön.
NBC's Mariah Baltimore said about Cory, no one is doing more for the image of the accordion than Cory Pesaturo is. Cory, can you quickly explain to us how did it come to that meeting? Where did you meet Mariah?
Well, probably more in the United States, but you know, I'm constantly looking of what can I do with the accordion that changes the image so that people don't go, oh, accordion, polka. So every time I go to play, I'm always playing modern music or using, of course, the sounds of the electronic accordion and get people to go. So at least every time I play, I get at least 2 or 3 people to come and say, you know, I never liked the accordion until I heard you. So that's the goal.
And where did you meet Mariah? Was this on a live TV show?
This was actually, she said this live in New York City. We were doing a big parade, the Italian parade actually. Well, it was on national television and I didn't know she was going to say that. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, who did that?
Modern music on the accordion.
Yes.
What in your mind is modern music?
Okay, so in that way I meant popular, really, more popular. Music that the average 16 to 21-year-old kid is listening to, 14-year-old, because they're not thinking accordion, right? This is the problem, okay. is between the ages of 14 and 30 mostly. No one's thinking about accordion. They're thinking about Justin Bieber, and they're thinking about Katy Perry. They're thinking about One Direction. They're thinking about it. So these are the people that need to like the accordion, because if they do, then the whole world says, all right, we got to do something with accordion.
But what is your experience if these people, which don't know the accordion, but which perfectly know that kind of music, if they hear it on the accordion, how do they react? Do they like it?
Oh, they love it. They love it. The problem is, it's a short-term excitement. When I play at a college, a lot of times I play at MIT in Boston, they're more and more advanced, so they actually understand what's going on. But say another normal college in the United States, I play, they are amazed by it, they can't imagine the accordion can do this. But a half hour later, they've kind of already forgot it, which speaks to a bigger problem of everybody's, you know, gonna be quick, instant gratification. And the thing is, they see it as more of a novelty because they know in their mind they're not going to see it again. It's not like they see me play, they go, wow, and then they're going to get the new, you know, Rihanna album and there's going to be accordion on it. They know they're not going to see it, so it's just a specialty. The problem is the people that run the music industry don't see the accordion as cool, so they don't feel there's a need to push it. Something has to happen where, and I've been trying to do this forever, get on some big national TV show with, you know, Jay Leno or Jimmy Fallon. You probably have like late night shows in Germany where everybody watches at night, and they actually feature not a band with an accordion. That's not going to help. It's got to be an accordion player as the lead, the head guy of a band. That's what has to happen.
But you never got rejected in the way that someone says, don't play that style of music on the accordion, it just doesn't sound well.
Oh, from the accordion world.
More from outside the accordion world.
Oh, okay.
You know, the average listener doesn't reject it?
No, they reject the overall idea of accordion. But they won't reject certain music on accordion. They think it's cool. You get that from the accordion world. If you play certain music on accordion, they go, the purist will go, what do you mean? You don't play that. I don't want to hear that on accordion. You know, but you know, the purists have to understand the acoustic accordion is not going to make the accordion popular. Our younger generation is about electronics. You have to do crazy computer electronic stuff. Then, once you have made the accordion popular, with that, now you can introduce the acoustic. But you can't do that until you get the accordion popular again, and you can't really get the accordion popular again unless you do it with electronics. And what's great is the electronics show how amazing the accordion is, because, you know, with the bellows is what the accordion is, right? That's the difference of what is an accordion. It's the bellows. And the thing is, the electronics go to those bellows, and you can do so much more than a keyboard or a guitar or any of these other things. We can do more with the electric accordion than they can do with electric piano. but we have to show that to the world.
Let's get back to this quote. Do you feel like you get up and you think, what can I do today in order to make the accordion more popular? What do you really...
I do, yeah, I kind of do, actually.
Yeah, you do.
I kind of do, because every email I send, every phone call I make is somehow trying to push that me getting on, the goal is getting on some kind of big TV thing where millions of people are watching, and someone that's established as cool says this is cool, because that's what needs to happen. The benefit is this can happen overnight.
Okay.
It literally in one day, the image of the accordion can change because of the internet. Something goes on the internet, it goes viral in just a day, 2 days. So it can happen quickly, and the image of the accordion, the positives are still low, but the negatives have come way down. 20 years ago, there were very high negatives on accordion, the image. That's come way down. The positives are slowly coming up, but there's not as many negatives. So it has the chance to explode. It just needs a chance to explode.
Which concrete actions did you take in order to change that image?
I'm kind of shooting in a lot of directions, whether it's the look of the accordion, something unique on the accordion, the music you play on the accordion, the people you play with the accordion. You want to play, like, I'll go play with a DJ at a club. You wouldn't think to do that being an accordion player, but I'm always thinking about doing it. So you go in and you have the DJ play a song you know, then he fades it out, and you play the electric and play that song.
And the audience sees, wow, this guy is doing it live with an accordion.
Right, and the people don't even know.
We just heard it from the DJ, and now we see it played live.
And they don't know at first, and then the DJ will say, you're listening to an accordion player.
So it's quite funny. I introduced you to the community as a jazz accordion player, and we were talking about DJs, about popular music.
Right.
What is your relation and your view onto jazz? What is your profession as a jazz accordionist looking like connected to this image that you want to establish?
Well, I mean, for me, jazz is my heart, I guess. I mean, it's probably my favorite, although I love all kinds of music. There's so many good kinds of music, but probably jazz is the best for me. But it's just, if you get really good at jazz, every other genre becomes pretty easy to analyze and get. The skill of analyzing the music, analyzing what's going on horizontally. What am I doing? Was analyzing horizontally? That was funny. Vertically. Yeah, you analyzing the chord changes and analyzing the motion of the song, analyzing where the chords are going. There's so much involved that if you can get good at analyzing jazz and playing jazz well, you use all those skills for every other genre. And it makes you a better classical player as well.
Talking about skills, what do you think? The accordion player that wants to change the image of the accordion, who wants to improve the image, which requirements does he have to meet?
Well, this is kind of a first thing, is getting quite good at the instrument, and more importantly, this is where the accordion world misses, getting good at being a musician. Because when you go out in the music world, it is sadly today more about, do you look good, and all this marketing stuff. But at the end of the day, to impress the high people in the music world, you have to be a good musician. And too much, especially in the United States, the accordion's coming back, and you see accordion more, but most of the people that play in bands are terrible accordion players. Terrible. But people don't know. They're like, oh, he's great, because they have no idea where the bar is. You have to become a good musician, because then top musicians in any genre will respect you. And now they won't see the accordion as a polka thing. They'll say, oh, this like serious musicians take this serious, because the instrument you play doesn't matter. And then in terms of revolutionary, you have to think, what's great about the electric accordion, you have to think about arranging. You can't just think about play. You got to really think about what sounds do I play. You got to think about rhythm more, because when you have the bass and the drums, you really have to think about groove. With an acoustic accordion, you can kind of get away with mushing the time and such, but when you have the actual bass plugging away and the drums, you have to have a groove, and having a groove is very important when you go out in the real music world, because too much in the accordion world we're playing alone, and that's not good. You really want to play with other people. That's ideal.
Well, that means you have been talking now about playing the accordion in an impressive way on your own, without a band, just one man, one accordion.
Right. Which is great.
Impress the audience.
Yeah. Which is important. But you got to be able to play, of course, with other people well as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's a mix. It's a mix. Yeah. If I'm doing a solo show, I like doing stuff from around the world, and I like doing that, you know, authentically.
Yes.
If I'm going to play a French waltz musette, I want to do it just like Gus Vazir would have done. If I'm going to play an Eastern European piece, I want to try to emulate Peter Rauchev. So I try to be as authentic as possible. Klezmer, I want to play it like I'm playing for the Torah, you know. So that, yes. At the same time, I might do the opposite. I might take accordion songs and pop-a-size them. That's not a word at all. Pop-a-size, yeah. That's a made-up word.
You don't want to be the hero of the accordion, where inside you want to go out of the accordion.
Yeah, it's outside. And again, it's kind of like what I said earlier of if you can make the accordion popular again, say with doing more electronic stuff, now you can reintroduce a real accordion and say, well, here's where it really comes from. Because you kind of have to look at it like the piano as well. The piano and the electric piano are both fine. They're both liked, they're both enjoyed, it's normal. It's harder to bring an acoustic instrument when everybody's listening to electronic stuff, you know. And again, the electric shows what the accordion is capable of. There's no instrument on the planet that can do what the accordion can. None. It's the only instrument you can play 12, 14 notes at the same time and also control the volume at every millisecond. It's the only instrument. It's the best instrument. We know this.
We do.
You guys know this, but the rest of the world doesn't know this. The water knows this, but man, that's it. Because it's a reeded instrument. And it's also the best for learning music theory. This is the other thing. It's the best instrument for learning music theory. Easily. Because they say piano's best. We have a piano, and it's only 1/3 of our instrument. Then we have phrasing, and then we have chord changes and theory. All together. It's the best. Okay. It's so sad that it's not popular.
So let's talk a little about sound. You mentioned the electronic accordion with all these possibilities to show modern sounds.
Right.
Which role does the traditional accordion sound play in your mind? Is it a refreshing sound? Did you ever made it to a production where the producer said, wow, we need that fresh accordion sound?
Yeah. I mean, usually if I'm going to do a recording, people want me to bring both.
Yes.
And of course, for slower songs, meaningful, like soulful songs, I don't want the electric. Because no matter what the electric can do, it will never have soul. You can't really have soul.
Yeah.
Plus, you can feel it. You know, it's got the sense to it. So, electric will never replace tradition. Right now, it's helping the tradition, but it will never replace it. And I think of it as being a car guy. You know, when people say, "Oh, which one do you need?" Well, you need both. You know, you need a big truck to go on the mountains, and then you want a Ferrari for the highway. You need both. And the Ferrari can't go up in the mountains, and the truck can't go fast on corn. You need both, and they're both important. So
you need them.
You need both.
I'll never afford them, but I need them.
But just the acoustic can do more than most all acoustic instruments. What instruments have switches? So the acoustic accordion itself already, just by that, the fact you can change different sounds on it is astounding. Yes.
And I see a cap down there.
Yes.
Which is a Formula 1 cap.
Yeah. Formula 1 hat.
You're obviously a race guy. Can you tell us something about this side of you?
Big race guy.
Not only on the keyboard, also.
Yeah, I know. I like playing fast. Yes. I mean, I've been involved in racing way longer than I've been in music. I started watching Formula 1 when I was 2, and I have not missed a race since live. I'd say maybe two races I didn't see live. So no matter where I am in the world, I gotta have my phone. You know, I can see a live stream, and I have to see it live. I'm obsessed. I'm here in Europe partly for Trossingen, and then I'm gonna drive to Austria, and I know people in the Red Bull team, so I'm gonna be in with the Red Bull team there, playing a little bit probably.
Amazing.
I always mix my career and my hobbies.
You recorded a great CD, which is called Change in the Weather.
Yes.
So one of your other great hobbies is weather.
Weather, yes.
Weather.
Yeah. All my album
Racing
titles will always be somehow associated with weather. You can't predict it. All the technology we have, and we still are not that great at predicting weather. which keeps it exciting. I like that, actually.
What I like is your connection of hobbies and your attitude towards your profession as a professional musician.
I didn't love playing music until I found jazz. Like, I did it because I knew I had a talent for it and it would be a waste if I didn't. I had already won a national championship in the U.S., and I still at that point didn't love to do it. I had a passion for it, but it was... my parents still had, Cory, you gotta practice, an hour a day. I gotta do an hour a day. All right. 1 hour. Yeah, 1 hour a day. I gotta do at least an hour.
Listen to that, not 3 hours, 1 hour.
But I always listen, but that's a whole other thing. Listening is more important than the actual practicing. Okay. That's a whole other thing. But when I found jazz, and I improvised it, because I always improvised, then I realized, okay, this is, and then the communication with other people. It's not just you sitting in a room playing. It's actual communicating. And I love that aspect of it, and that's what really made me love it. So now, yes, when I went to music college for it, it became a complete passion like my hobbies. So it has the same drive. But I don't know which one. I mean, of course, music is my career, but I'm so crazy about sports and racing, especially all kinds of sports in the U.S. But really, I don't know. I'm passionate about a lot of things. I need more time in the day, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
everybody does.
I wish if I had cut 2 of my hobbies, I could be a lot better player. But everything makes you a person, and who you are as a person comes out in the improvisation, because when you're improvising, you can't just analytically think of everything, but how your mind comes up with the equation to come up with the notes it's coming up with comes from a large part of who you are as a person. So, that all has an effect. If you stay in the room all day and just practice, you're not going to have very soulful, sexy solos.
I can imagine.
It's that. I always say when people play Piet solo, they play it so blocky.
Yes.
And I'm like, pretend you're in Argentina and you're playing a gig and the most beautiful Argentinian girl walks by and you can't talk to her. So the only way you can make her look at you is by playing the most intense solo. So there has to be some communication where you actually turn intangible things into music. But it's the same thing. It's about character.
Now I want to see you play piazzolla in front of an Argentinian girl, and I want to see how it works out.
This would be a good experiment.
Yeah. We should do it.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any idols of the accordion or not of the accordion? You mentioned listening is a very important aspect of becoming a great musician.
Yeah.
What should we listen to?
Well, you are what you eat, as we say in America, which is why many Americans are... That's what makes your mind, be able to think of ideas. If you haven't seen it, it's hard to imagine it. Or if you haven't heard it, it's hard to imagine it. So you have to listen to different things of what you want to sound like. So, practice, you want to practice at least an hour a day, obviously, but you want to listen a lot. You're playing, even if you're playing a video game or something, have some music that you want to hear. You're writing out something, have some music. You want to be listening a lot, because that's what makes you. The technique. Eventually, over time, you're going to become at least good enough. But you need 2 things in life for music. And really all things in life. You need the tools to be able to do something, but you need the creativity to utilize those tools.
Give us 3 of the main idols that influenced you a lot.
Idols. God.
3 of them.
See, influence, that might be different, because idols, Art Tatum to me is the greatest musician ever. I'm crazy for Stravinsky in terms of, you look at the stuff he did innovatively in terms. My favorite composer is probably Tchaikovsky, but I'm crazy for Chopin too. I think Chopin was the first jazz musician. I can make a case for that. Non-musically, Ayrton Senna. I grew up a huge Ayrton Senna fan. He's an absolute hero to me, even though he died when I was about this big.
That have already been 3, that have even been 4.
No,
but we could see it's a very broadened horizon.
Yeah.
Not only the accordion idols,
right.
but all the other idols.
Yeah. Keith Jarrett.
Keith
Jarrett.
That was the 5th now. So Cory, many thanks for this interview. I would like to finish with one quote that I found in your card, and it is changing the accordion 1 note at a time.
1 note at a time. It's a fun quote. I just thought of it randomly. I was trying to make a business card, but
okay.
You want to have that mentality. You know, and that could be not just change the accordion, it could be, you know, getting better as a musician one note at a time.
Okay.
And that counts listening.
That's a great mentality and a great motivation to all of us. Thank you one again. We are going to hear much more of you. And wir hoffen natürlich, ihn mal in Deutschland live erleben zu können. Coming soon, Cory Pesaturo.
Deutschland.